Hi guys, welcome to another telecast on Excel. My name is Nono. First, I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I absolutely appreciate. Thank you for the comments, the feedback, all of that. I'm grateful. Okay, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you get notified every time I post a video. Happy New Year. Now in this short telecast, I'm going to be showing you how we can count the number of vowels or consonants in a particular text string, and I'm going to be doing it by two methods. Okay, the first method, I'm going to be using the substitute function. Now the substitute function is basically a text function that helps you replace a particular character with another one from or within a text string. Okay, now I'm going to click within the cell and I'm going to do equals to substitute. Okay, now the first argument is text. Okay, what this means is the text where you want to do the substitutes or substitution rather is what we're going to select here. Okay, say for example we're looking at this first text, glacier, so we click on it. This is our text. Now we put a comma. The next argument is the old text. Now the old text means what you want to substitute. Okay, say for example we wanted to substitute the A, so we're going to do this and do A. Okay, because it's a text we have to put it in double quotation. Now we move to the next argument. The next argument is next text. Okay, so what do you want to substitute the A with? Say for example we wanted to put an O there, and that's it. Now we have another argument which is the instant number, but you can see that it's in square brackets, so it means it's optional. I'm going to explain how that works. Okay, so we just close parenthesis and we hit enter. We can see that the A was substituted with O. Okay, that's an easy example of the substitute function. Okay, now we also enter the substitute function here. Okay, and we use this particular text. Now we want to substitute the O. Now the reason why I'm using this example is because there's more than one occurrence of O, so that I can explain clearly how the argument, the instance number works. Okay, so here we can see that there are two instances of O. Okay, the first instance is after the T and the next one is after the N. Okay, say for example the old text we want to replace is O. Okay, we enter the argument and we want to replace it with an A. Okay, now I'm going to select an instance number. Now there are two instances, this one first, this one second. So if I put 1 here for example and I hit enter, notice that it's the first instance of O that got substituted. Okay, let me step back into the formula, and if I put 2 and I hit enter, you see that it's the second instance of O, which is the one after the N, that got substituted. Okay, now if I leave that argument because it's an optional argument, notice that all the instances of O get substituted by the A as we specified. Okay, so that's how it works basically. So the first thing we're going to do is, now the vowels in the English language are A, E, I, O, U. I mean in other languages there might be other characters. Well, I'm just sticking to English because that's what I speak fluently. So we're going to be using this, okay, because these are the vowels in English language. Okay, so we're going to be substituting the instances of this in a particular text. I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, now but the first thing is, because we're going to be looking for lower cases of this. Okay, so it will be a smart thing to make sure that all these are in lowercase so that we can match each. Because if you look at this word eccentric here, the E is capital. So if we search for this E here, we only find one. I need to skip this because it's case sensitive when we're using the substitute function. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so if I do substitute for example, and then this is my text, all right, and the old text I want to substitute is small letter E, watch, okay, and then the new text is A. Okay, and I'm doing all the instances and I hit enter. Notice that it's only the lower case that was substituted. Now if I do F2 and I change this to uppercase, notice that it'll be the first one. Okay, so because it's case sensitive, we're going to include the lower text function. Within lower text function just makes a text string in lowercase. So if I do lower and I click on this, all of the text is in lower case. So that's how it works. Okay, so let's get to our formula quickly. Okay, so we do substitute. Now we're going to do lower and then we're going to put in our text. So this is our first argument, okay, just so that we can match this. And then the next argument is our old text. Now our old text is going to be all of this, but how are we going to put all of this? Yes, we're going to use curly braces, and then we're going to put the text one after the other. A, and then we do E, and then we do I, and then we do O. Okay, the I has to be in small case, okay, my bad. And then we do O, and then we do U. Exactly. Okay, so we have all of this, right? Now what this means is it's going to do this on this text 5 times. It's going to substitute, so it's going to spill out 5 different texts, because that's what we're specifying by using these curly braces, okay? And extract A the first time, E, like that. We're going to see that too. And what are we replacing all of this text with? Nothing. So we're just going to put double quotation mark, and we want all instances of this, so we skip the last argument, close parenthesis, and hit enter. Okay, so we can see that in the first one the A's are substituted with a blank, and then the E is substituted with nothing, and then the I, and then because there's no O and U, we have the same original text. Okay, good, just as we wanted. The next thing we're going to do is going to use the length function. The length function basically counts the number of characters in a string, so we're just going to use the length function and hit enter. So this is the length. Okay, now what we're going to do is, because we have substituted the vowels with a blank, we're going to subtract this from the length of the original string. So I press F2 to step into the formula, and I do length, and I do length of this original text minus this. Okay, so we have 1 1 1. Now the number of vowels is just a sum of everything. Now depending on your version of Excel, like if you're using a lower version, I don't know if the sum function will be able to work for you. So but here of course sum function can work, but if you're using a lower version of Excel, maybe you have to use the sum product, because this is like an array, but it gives you the same answer, trust me. And then yeah, well, I'm going to use the sum function just to, or the sum product, just to keep it uniform. So if you're using a lower version, you can also do the same thing. And this is the number of vowels, and I double click and I send it down. So we can see that we have A, I, and E, and here we have just 3 vowels. Here we have E, U, O, I, A, 5, and all of that. So the number of consonants, all we can do is, if we wanted to write it in one formula, just copy all of this and then come here, and then of course the word is made up of vowels and consonants. Okay, so I mean, if you add the 2 of them, it gives the length. So it's just a basic math. So we can just do length of the original text minus all the vowels, and we should get the length of the consonants. And then of course we double click and send it down. So we have that. Okay, this is the first method. Now for this method, we're going to be using the mid and the sequence. I've explained how the sequence functions works. You can check my previous video on reversing text, and then you see, and even the mid function, which is a text function that helps us extract characters from a text string, specifying the start and the end position. Okay, so you can check that video. I'm going to leave the link to my video on the reversing text, and then you see how the functions work. So first we do sequence, right? And the sequence are going to be is going to be in the rows, but how many characters are we're going to do the length of this. This is our first argument, and this is all of our arguments. We don't need to specify the start number. By default it starts from 1, and we don't need to specify the step number, because by default it steps with 1. So we're just going to close parenthesis. Now we have a sequence of 1 to 7, which corresponds to the length of this. Now I can't double click and send it down, because it's going to give me a spell error and all of that, but this is what we need for now. We're going to press F2 again to step into this. Now we're going to do mid. Now the reason why we're doing mid is because we want to extract each character. So our text is this, and then we're just going to use 1 because we want each character. So you can see we have Glacier, glacier, which is our word. Now we're not done with the formula yet. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to compare this to the vowels. Okay, A, E, I, O, U. So we're going to do it in curly braces. I'm going to say A, okay, E, I. Okay, this has to be in small case. And then we go O, and then, oh sorry, I have to put the double quotation, and then we go U. Okay, now this is it. and then we close the curly braces. So we're going to get a bunch of trues and falses like this. Yeah, because this is Glacier, and this is the one that has the A replaced, and then of course this is where we have the letter that matches A. Okay, now how do we convert these true and falses to ones and zeros? Okay, there are many ways to do that. Okay, but my preferred method is just to put a double negative here. So I put a double negative, open parenthesis, and then close parenthesis. So this converts it to zeros and ones. Now to get our number of vowels, all we need to do is to use the sum product just as we did in the last one, and then close parenthesis here and hit enter, and then of course we have our number of vowels, and of course we can of course send this down. To get the number of consonants, all we do is, if we wanted to do it in one formula, we just copy this, escape, and then come here and do the length of this, and then we subtract all that we got here, and then we hit enter. So, and then we double click and send it down. So these are ways by which we can get the number of vowels and consonants in a text strings. I know there are other ways. I mean, we could have just written a user-defined function within Excel VBA and then loop through the entire text string, and then of course and try to find the characters that match the vowels and all of that, and initialize a variable and then count and all of that. But I didn't want to do all of that. I wanted to do it within the grid. Okay, so if you have other ways you can do this, please leave it in the comment section below, and I'd love to see. Thank you for watching.